Welcome back to some more Switch Sports Golf action, and in this video, I'm going to play this game with this extremely stacked lobby here. We have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 6. Everybody in this lobby has been rated top 10 at some point in this season, but in this game, I'm going to talk through the approach to this game, trying to compete at a high level. So we have this back pin here, and 15-mile-an-hour winds pushing up and to the right. The goal here, and the goal pretty much always, is to try to make birdies, or at least give yourself a chance to put it by the pin. I'm not necessarily trying to make this, but I'm trying to put it super close. So I'm just aiming it out to the left a bit, taking a bit of power off of it, because it's going to push to the right and have, you know, a better chance at... Oh, is that going to fall? Oh, it just misses. So that's not necessarily a shot that I'm trying super hard to make, because it's way towards the back of the green, this pin. You don't want to put it over the back, so leaving it short is the safe option. And I kind of knew that. I just wanted to give it a run up there, see if I could get it to fall, and if I was going to miss, I wanted to miss short. So mission accomplished. We'll tap in the birdie along with the rest of this group. And a lot of times people think that you need to make ridiculous shots in order to play pretty well in this game, but oftentimes it's more so just about consistency. Making birdies, making a couple eagles here and there when you can. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you have some more straightforward ones. But most of the time, it's just about making the shots that are makeable. We see one there, we'll be tied with this entire group. And now we'll have hole 2, which will be hole number 12. And in this seed, this is actually perfect because we have 3 special holes, all of them. All 3 of the hardest holes in this game are in this seed, which will be perfect to walk through. We have what is typically an easier one here, hole 12. In terms of scoring, it's typically a more straightforward eagle. We'll have that back left pin, that's pretty preferable, I believe. I'll double check, but I believe that's the one we're working with. And it is. So once again, we're just trying to hit a shot where we put it on the correct line, you know, somewhere on that green with a close approach is totally fine. We'll hit the spoon. I know the spoon power that's needed here is just a little over 3 dots. This game is kind of half feel, half memory. So this one is more of a memory one. It's so downhill, it's tough to tell on the map exactly where the power is, but I've just hit this shot so many times that I know that this slightly over 3 dots is perfect. So that should work really well. We'll send that down towards the pin. Is it going to fall? Not necessarily, but it'll be pretty close, and we'll have a pretty straightforward tap-in eagle from where we end up there. So we'll be 8.5 feet away. With a very, very straightforward putt at this eagle. And it's just because I've played this hole so many times, it's just an experience thing, knowing the power that's needed to put that in the area of the hole. We'll tap in our eagle. This one is one where if you hit that fringe in front, you end up sometimes in trouble. The fringe hits the ball so far. That happens occasionally in these lobbies. I've kind of learned the proper power, especially with pure crosswind like we saw there, that you need to hit in order to put it on that correct distance. We do it pretty well there. So we'll pick up the eagle. We'll be tied for first with 4 others in this 7-person lobby. Actually, Sadine is playing in the playoff of the last game, and then he'll be dropping. So it's really a 6-person lobby here. All right, now we have hole 20. And I'm going to be in this left tee position. So this is actually one of the worst spots to be in this game. But if you can learn to manage it, it actually becomes kind of okay. We have that right pin, that right back pin, that's not too bad. So all we need to do here is just hit a bit of a draw. It's not going to put us in a perfect spot. And it might take a couple tries to get it perfect in order to not fly this one too low. Let's try that. Okay, that should be about good. I mean, it's not going to be totally ideal, but that should hopefully... Oh, it doesn't quite launch. So, we're still in kind of a bad spot. I mean, I overdid it a little bit maybe on that draw. And now we'll have to hit a tough shot up here. Okay. So how do we want to approach this one now? Let's just try to put this one in the area. I ended up in a real tough spot. Let's see if we can do the best we can with it. Try to put this one somewhere towards the green. All I could really do is just hit that one out there somewhere nearby, give myself a clear line at the hole. That was just a tough one. Okay, We can use the 9-iron. And I don't want to be super aggressive with this one because I can get myself in trouble if I leave this on the left side of the pin or too long. So this is about what I'm going to do. We're going to hit it right about to there. It should just kick a bit to the right. It's going to move a bit to the right in the air as well. But we can just hit it with just under full power of the second dot with the 9-iron and try to glide it up there. Okay, that's felt about perfect. It's going to take a big bounce and it'll just miss. But that's a totally fine leave. We'll have a fine par there. And that's a hole where it feels not so good. There are some times where you're not going to make the score that everyone else makes, and that's okay. It's recoverable. Maybe not so much in this lobby where everyone is quite highly rated. But a par when you're on that left tee position on hole 20 is, I mean, not the worst thing in the world. We didn't put ourselves at risk of a bogey. We just didn't put the ball out of bounds, didn't hit trees, didn't hit rocks. We just did the best we could with the shots that we had in front of us, but we'll be just one shot back. And now we'll have hole 19, and it's going to be another challenge here. We've got 31 miles an hour, pushing kind of in the face. And this is one where I want to think about my approach on the second shot. We had that blocking tree. I'm kind of pointing right at that tree that can block this shot if I'm not careful. So I want to leave this. I mean, the wind is going to help push it left, but I want to leave this more on the left side. So let's aim it right about there. That should push a decent amount left. We'll hit it with plenty of extra power. We can use the spoon because the wind is so in the face. And just send that one out there in that little notch of the fairway. That one's another kind of feel shot where I've hit that shot into the wind enough times that it kind of knew the power that was needed on the spoon. And now we'll have a chance here to try to put this one close through some tough wind and try to get a lucky birdie here. So let's aim this about to there. The wind's going to push this a decent amount left. And I want this to be kind of at the top of those mounds and moving left. That way it ends up on the left side of those mounds. So let's try out this shot with the full spoon. See if that gets pushed up there nicely. And if we can end up in a decent spot. Okay, so the full spoon is on its way. It's pushing left. That should take a bounce and end up... Okay, that didn't go nearly as far as I thought it would. That's a quite uphill shot. And we'll have a 40-foot side hill one here. So this is not an easy putt. Perhaps clubbing up to the driver was the play here. So we've seen a real difficult seed. We've played it okay. I got a tough break. I mean, left tee position with wind, the wind that we saw on the last hole was real tough. But we have a chance here to try to sink this one and start moving back in the right direction. This is going to move well to the left, way left. It's also uphill at the end, sneaky uphill. So we have to hit this with enough power to get it up there and try to get it to fall that way. Let's try it out. That should be on the low side of the hole. So that's way uphill at the end. It's sneaky. It sneaks up on you. You don't really see it until you get up there. But now we have to hit this one hard up there. We'll have 2 pars in a row. And we'll just have to try to recover from that. So we're going to be down a couple strokes on this lobby here. So that was a tough one there. We only see 2 birdies out of the group. And even though I'm not necessarily playing well, I mean, we're 1 shot back of second place. Duke has made 2 nice birdies on 2 extremely tough holes, but that's Duke. We'll have to try to get 1 shot back at some point. It's not going to be an easy end. I mean, we've got a couple tougher holes, 21 and 8 left. But even though we're not playing well, it's not worth trying to do too much over. So let's just hit this one. We'll start it about there. The wind's going to be moving to the right. So this shot is going to come in at an angle where it should just straighten out rather than kicking left. Let's hit it to about there, I'm going to guess. And we'll use the 5-iron to bounce it up there. So just over that 3rd dot of power should be good. Right around there. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, I think that was a pretty good shot. That looks like it's going to be on a great line. Oh, it's going to be a little too far to the right. So just a little, 1.5 foot miss on the right side. We'll bounce that up there nicely with another more technical play to kind of know what the power is, or what power is needed with that 5-iron. We'll tap that one down there. We'll see a nice chip in from Newman. We'll make our birdie as well. So we'll see birdies from the group there. We actually may have lost CBTV, which is quite unfortunate. So I'll be in 3rd place out of 5 here, tied with Torchic Nick. We'll be playing hole 18, and here we know we can just go for that left island. So we can just aim it towards the left side of that fairway, allow the wind to push it back to the right. Hopefully just end up in a decent spot to approach that back pin from. Okay, so 9 miles an hour is going to be pushing forward and to the right. Now this is such a long shot though, that I think we want to aim this quite a bit out to the left. We'll try it right around there. That feels about good. And we'll hit it with about 3.2 dots of power. And the goal here is to just land it short of the green and have it bounce up and over those shelves that are on the green. So let's try this out, see if we can do it right, and put it nice and close. Okay, that's the power that I wanted. It's not going to move right quite enough, and because we're on the left side, it's going to hit those little hills and roll more left. So the misses are accentuated on this green. That's just the way this one goes. But we'll end up in a totally fine spot here to putt from, just on this second shelf. This is actually going to stay pretty straight until the end with the way that this shelf is. So we'll just hit that up there with a dot of power, put it on the hole. It'll move just slightly left at the end and we'll see it fall for a nice eagle. So that one is one where oftentimes people try backspin on that one, and it's just a tough pin to try to go for that. There are some approaches where you can go up and over that green nicely, and that's just a situation where the angle of the green, the misses, like where you can miss on that green, align really well for rolling it up there. So there are a lot of questions about when you want to use spin and when you want to roll it out, and it's really just about trying to determine what your best miss is, where's the best line to approach the hole from, because you don't want to bounce that one on the green first. Bouncing that on the green can take a bounce in any direction based on exactly where you hit. A bounce on the fairway first is going to take the same exact bounce pretty much every time. Okay, now we'll have another tough special hole here, 26 miles an hour in the face. This is so downhill that I know I need to aim this way out to the left, even though it's diagonal to the right. That's going to get pushed a good amount. It'll still end up nicely on the fairway. But we're going to have a nice long second shot here. We'll just have to aim this way out to the left, try to get it up there with the correct power, and see if we can spin it back. So this one is one where there's plenty of room behind and not a lot of room in front. And we want it to be rolling back at the end of it. So this one is purely a spin shot all the way. No doubt about that. So let's do it. Let's aim it way out to the left. I feel like that adjustment's pretty good. It's kind of just a feel shot. Let's try it out. Oh, I way shorted it. That's going to be a problem. Oh, we're going to be in the bunker. So I meant to hit that almost full power, and we end up hitting it to about 15 yards short. Now we're going to have a tough chip here. However, this is one where we can not like sulk, not get mad about it. We can just try our best to hit a good shot. Let's aim it to about there. We'll hit it with about that much power and try to just send this down there and glide it in. That's the goal. Let's see if we can pull it off. There it is, and we'll glide it in nicely. So that was one where I could use the slope of the green to try to pick a landing point that was right in front of me, and it just kind of trickles down from there, so it clips the fringe even, and then makes its way into the hole. So kind of a wild chip in there, but one that I saw the plan, I pictured what needed to be done, and it worked out. So that one feels pretty good. So we'll make the birdie, which will push us into third place solo. This has been a round that can definitely test you mentally. There have been a couple of holes where I've had to hit some good shots just to save birdie. Approaches have not necessarily gone where I've wanted them to with the conditions that we faced. We're going to see it continue here with maximum wind on hole 8. The mental approach really is just what this round has been. We're just going to have to aim this way out there. I kind of know that about 3 dots of power with the 5-iron is a pretty good option here with some spin. It's going to zip in hot, and it should hopefully just come back from there. Let's try it out, see if we can get lucky here. Okay, that's the shot that I wanted to hit. That's on a real good looking line, actually. If that kicks nicely, we'll see it roll back down that hill, and we'll sink it for a wild hole-in-one on hole 8. So that was one where I kind of knew that I had a good line. Like, I knew that I could use the spin, bounce it short, and roll it back. And even if I missed, it would have been below the hole with... There's no easy putts on this green, but that's a putt that I have quite often. Okay, so despite some early struggles, some pars, we're still at 9 under. So we've taken advantage of the opportunities that have been in front of us for some birdies. We've had a couple pars, but that hasn't affected the last run of this game. We've stayed in it. We're in second place, and we had that one lucky one that happens occasionally. This has actually been, despite the challenge of this game, it's worked about exactly as I said these games kind of typically do. You know, you have a couple tough ones, you come back from them, you make the birdies when you can, and sometimes you get a lucky one. Alright, so we'll have a nice shot out towards this last one. We can try our best to make this albatross. We'll be within 100 yards, which is pretty good for these par 5s. I'm going to go with just a total feel shot here. I still want to hit it about pin high on the power meter. But if we can steal the albatross, that would put us in great position for this game. So let's try to hit it to about there. It may glide, it may roll. An albatross would be lucky. But let's see if we can pull it off with this 9-iron. Okay, that's the shot that I wanted. Is that going to be on line? It looks like it. Oh, it just doesn't quite kick to the right like it sometimes does off of that front fairway. But just kind of having hit that shot a bunch of times, I kind of knew that even though that was way downwind, that needed to be pin high because it was so uphill. It puts us in a nice spot with a nice leave to tap in this eagle here. We'll send it in there, and despite some difficulty in this game, that'll push us to 11 under par. So we had 2 pars on this round, but then we had a lucky hole-in-one, you know, a couple of eagleable par 5s, and that pushes us all the way to 11 under. We'll be tied for second, and we'll lose to Duke by 1. So all in all, despite the difficulties, that ends up being a fairly good round, and that's about what needs to happen in order to try to place well in these ranked games. You just have to let the tough ones be tough. Sometimes you make them, sometimes you don't. You don't let it affect the rest of your round. You get some lucky ones when you can. You make birdies on the more straightforward ones. And you pick up some pretty good placements. So I hope you've enjoyed this kind of different type of Switch Sports Golf video that's more approach-based, more mental-based. We'll see you in the next one. And good games to everybody who was involved in that one.